Hello, investors, and welcome to the Intelligent Investor YouTube channel. Today, we are doing a deep dive on Suzlon Energy Limited, and we cover some of the very critical aspects of the business which need to fall in place to give an intelligent investor a return on his money. So, I request you all to make sure to stay tuned till the very end. With that, let's begin our analysis. So, for Suzlon Energy Limited to give an intelligent investor a yield of about 7%, which is what one gets in a savings bank account every year without a hassle about changing business conditions or competitive landscape. Suzlon must be able to produce about 5,400 crores in PAT from the current level of 660 crores as of March 2024. And this 5,400 crores of PAT, what I've done is I've just taken the current market cap of the company, and for an investor to yield 7% return on his money, he should get about 5,400 crores in PAT. Now, here is the annual report of the company from where I've collated some numbers, and here they are providing you with segment details about their different businesses. There's you see the segment revenue, the segment's results before exceptional items, which is PAT, and all I've done here in this Excel is to take all of these numbers and put them up here and calculated the PAT margins for you, right? Here, once an investor would realize uh, that the PAT margin for the wind turbine generator business is a positive 17%, which was achieved in FY17, which was the highest ever the company did, and a negative of 329%, which was in FY20. Now, if I take an average PAT margin of this wind turbine generator business of a positive 8%, which is also very generous for this business, and if you just proceed to the conference call of the company, here Mr. Himanshu Modi, who's the group CFO, he highlighted this fact. So, as far as margin expansion is concerned, one thing I've repeatedly said on all calls, when you look at consolidated margins, there certainly will be a dip because the WTG business keeps growing in size, which is a lower margin business as compared to the services business. The consolidated margin will definitely see a dip because of the larger increase of business in a smaller margin business. So one thing that is highlighting here is that the increase in the WTG business will be higher than that of the services business, which is the operations and maintenance business of the company. Also, the fact that the WTG business is a smaller margin business. And again, he said that the WTG gross margin will be in the mid to late teens, whereas the OMS business, which is the operations and maintenance business, gross margin will be about 65%. So if the gross margin is mid to late teens, I think 8% is quite optimistic for this business. And if I take a 8% profit margin, so they need about 5,400 crores in PAT, and at 8%, they would need to do revenues of about 67,000, 70,000 crore, right? And that too in 1 year. Now let's try to determine how much of gigawatt of wind energy deliveries does the company need to make in order to generate these kind of sales of about 70,000 crores. Now here again, if an investor goes through the investor presentation of the company for the quarter 2 of FY25, and on page, let's go to page 21, and right here. So here again, the company has given segment information about the business, and this is about the WTG division, which is the wind turbine generator division. And the company generated about 4,200 crores of revenue in FY24, while delivering about 700 megawatts of wind energy. These are the deliveries in megawatt. So now, if the company is generating about 4,200 crores and delivering 700 megawatt of energy, That means about for every 1 megawatt of delivery done by Suzlon, it generates about 6 crores in sales. Again, the company needs to generate about 70,000 crores in sales, and 6 crore is achieved by 1 megawatt delivery. That means that the company needs to deliver about 11.5 gigawatts of wind energy capacity, right? Which is about a 16x jump from the current deliveries done by the company, which is again about 710 megawatt, right? Let's move on and try to understand whether the 11.5 gigawatt, this number capacity delivery, is achievable for the company or not. And an investor would notice, now if we go to slide 5 of the investor presentation, here they've given a installed power generation capacity of India, and it clearly shows that currently India generates about 47 gigawatt of energy through wind, and it aims to achieve about 100 gigawatt of energy by 2030, which is about an addition of roughly 52 gigawatt over the next 5 years, which translates to about 10 gigawatt every year, right? And on page 7, Suzlon mentions that they have a market share in India of about 32%. Now, with a 32% market share, if India is only going to add about 10 gigawatt of wind energy capacity, how the company will be able to generate 11.5 gigawatt, it does not make sense to me. Let alone the fact that current year in FY24, India itself as a whole, as a country, put up a wind energy capacity of about 3.3 gigawatt, which is again, this is also in page on slide number 21. This is the wind capacity additions in India in gigawatt, and in FY24 we can see that India added about 3.3 gigawatts, in FY23 2.3 gigawatts, in FY22 1.1 gigawatt. And even in the current financial year, which is FY25, in the half year, India has added about 1.5 gigawatt in wind capacities. Now, if we come to the OMS business, which is the operations and maintenance business, which drives majority of the profits, again, taking figures from the annual report, here the segment information is given. This is the OMS business. Segment revenue is 2000 odd crores. Result is about, PAT is about 738 crores. I have just put this data into an Excel sheet, and as you can see, this is a higher profit margin business, which was also shared to us in the commentary by the management, by the group CFO Himanshu Modi. Now, an investor would realize that the sales have compounded at just only 2%, while the profits have compounded at 17%, which is a combination of both sales increases and also margin expansion. As we can see from the 12% PAT margin in FY17, the company has gone to about 36% PAT margin in FY24. Now, to increase profits for this business, is the gain not possible for the company to do, since this is like an after sales business in the renewable energy space, and only contributes about 125 crores per 1 gigawatt of wind capacity installation. And here also, the management has guided us in one of their con calls. Again, so Himanshu Modi, on page 7, if you will head to the conference call, the latest conference call, an analyst had asked him, sir, any ballpark, like what sort of service revenue comes, let's say for 1 megawatt or 10 megawatt? So he says our service business broadly is close to about 1900 crores top line for a 15 gigawatt fleet. Right, now if you just fire up your calculator, for 1900 crores, the company is generating about 1900 crores in revenue for a 15 gigawatt fleet, which is about 125 126 odd crores for every gigawatt that is being serviced by the company, right? And hence, I think all of the profits need to come from the WTG business, which is the wind turbine and generator business. So, investors, I think, to summarize, in my humble opinion, a lot of variables need to fall in place for the company to justify its current valuations. and hence long-term investors from Suzlon should not be able to make any returns from here on for the foreseeable future. And in fact, I think maybe even they could lose some money from here. Hence, one should be very careful while going long with the company. Thank you.